Okay, so welcome all of you. Now, this one is my fourth lecture for environment related topics which are going to come in HPCL exam, and this my lecture is for mechanical engineering students. Already three lectures are available on our YouTube channel. You can watch these. Environmental impact assessment I have already covered, and this is my second lecture on climate change. So as I told you last time, the syllabus of mechanical engineering for HPCL वो थोड़ा सा चेंज आया था. It was changed a little bit that syllabus, and कुछ नए टॉपिक्स ऐड किए गए थे मैकेनिकल इंजीनियरिंग के सिलेबस में. एंड दीज टॉपिक्स एक्चुअली वर द टॉपिक्स जो इंजीनियरिंग सर्विसेज प्रीलिम के टॉपिक्स हैं. सो आईईएस प्रीलिम टॉपिक्स वर एडेड. दीज आर द टॉपिक्स व्हिच वर एडेड, और इनमें आई एम गोइंग फॉरवर्ड विद बेसिक्स ऑफ इंजीनियरिंग, बेसिक्स ऑफ एनर्जी एंड एनवायरनमेंट. तो ये टॉपिक्स हम लोग कर रहे हैं. एनवायरनमेंट इम्पैक्ट असेसमेंट, दिस ऑलरेडी हैज बीन कवर्ड. एनवायरनमेंट इम्पैक्ट असेसमेंट and climate change is the second topic which I am taking. Important topics and friends, and these are the topics which you must do, and इनका थोड़ा सा नॉलेज आपको होना चाहिए अगर आपने HPCL को क्रैक करना है. और HPCL का जो एग्जाम है वो 3 मंथ्स के अंदर तुम्हारा हो जाएगा. So those of you who have not started doing that, please start your preparation as soon as possible. So all these topics are available on YourPedia panel. You can go through these topics. तो कल हमने जो क्लास स्टार्ट किया था मैं उसको पहले थोड़ा सा समराइज कर दूं, एंड देन वी विल गो फॉरवर्ड फॉर सम क्वेश्चंस एंड न्यू टॉपिक्स. क्लाइमेट चेंज क्या होता है इसकी डेफिनेशन, लेकिन ऑब्जेक्टिव टाइप एग्जाम में डेफिनेशन का मतलब नहीं है, डेफिनेशन से नहीं आएगा. क्या फैक्टर हैं जो क्लाइमेट चेंज लाते हैं, व्हाट आर द फैक्टर्स ब्रिंगिंग द क्लाइमेट चेंज, राइट. तो क्लाइमेट चेंज के फैक्टर्स, नेचुरल फैक्टर्स एंड एंथ्रोपोजेनिक फैक्टर्स, मैंने दो उसमें डिवाइड किया था. एंथ्रोपोजेनिक फैक्टर्स एंड द फैक्टर इज द नेचुरल फैक्टर्स. नो, नेचुरल फैक्टर्स में कॉन्टिनेंटल ड्रिफ्ट, नाम आपको पता होना चाहिए, वॉल्केनिज्म एंड चेंज इन अर्थ ऑर्बिट, जिसको मिलनकोविच साइकिल्स बोलते हैं, ग्रुप ऑफ एक्टिविटीज. सो मिलनकोविच साइकिल मैंने कई एग्जाम्स में मैंने आपको बताया था कि कई एग्जाम्स में पूछा जाता है ये मिलनकोविच साइकिल क्या है. So from there the question might become. Yes, Dinesh, there are batches already started. So in case you are interested for HPCL, RCFL, you can start your preparation. In fact, YourPedia has annual module for every exams जो निकलता है पब्लिक सेक्टर के, अलग अलग एग्जाम्स निकलते हैं, उन सब का कम्बिनेशन पैकेज भी है. So you can go for that. But RCFL, HPCL, yes, there are modules. Then there is a anthropogenic factors. Anthropogenic factors means something which human being creates. I mean the factors which are because of the interference of human being. So natural factor is something which we do not control, human being don't control, but anthropogenic factors are something which human being control. और human being जो control करता है वो ग्रीन हाउस गैसेस जो लिबरेट होती हैं. कौन कौन सी हैं ग्रीन हाउस गैसेस, उसके बारे में आज भी थोड़ा सा पढ़ेंगे. ग्रीन हाउस गैसेस कौन कौन सी हैं. कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड सबसे ज्यादा जो इंपैक्टफुल ग्रीन हाउस गैस है, दैट इज कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड. देन मीथेन इज देयर, नाइट्रस ऑक्साइड इज देयर, क्लोरोफ्लोरोकार्बन, हाइड्रोकार्बन, वो सारी के सारी, वाटर वेपर्स, वो सारे के सारे ग्रीन हाउस गैसेज हैं जो सन की अल्ट्रावायलेट रेडिएशन को तो एब्जॉर्ब नहीं करते, लेकिन इंफ्रारेड रेडिएशन को एब्जॉर्ब कर लेते हैं, and the planet becomes warm. That is how it goes. So greenhouse gases जो फॉसिल फ्यूल के बर्न करने से होती हैं, और भी फैक्टर है. फिर एटमॉस्फेरिक एरोसोल्स, मैंने बताया था एरोसोल्स का क्या रोल है, उसको एक रीजन है. और जो आप एक लैंड यूज का पैटर्न शिफ्ट कर रहे हैं, मतलब कटिंग कर रहे हैं, ट्रीज कट कर रहे हैं, कार्बन सिंक को डिस्ट्रॉय कर रहे हैं, दैट कैन ऑल्सो बी वन ऑफ द रीजंस जो ग्रीन हाउस, जो आपका बेसिकली एंथ्रोपोजेनिक रीजन है. फिर मैंने आपको कल ये टर्म एल्बिडो टर्म इसको एक्सप्लेन किया था कि रिफ्लेक्टिविटी किसी ऑब्जेक्ट की स्पेस में, उसको एल्बिडो बोलते हैं. और फिर मैंने इसको एक्सप्लेन किया था एल्बिडो का कैसे बेसिकली ग्रीन ग्लोबल वार्मिंग या क्लाइमेट चेंज के साथ रिलेशन है. तो टर्मिनोलॉजी आपको पता होनी चाहिए. एग्जाम में ही कैन आस्क यू दिस क्वेश्चन, ही कैन गिव यू टर्मिनोलॉजीज एंड द क्वेश्चन बेस्ड अपॉन दिस टर्मिनोलॉजीज. अब कैसे आपको पता लगेगा कि देयर इज अ रैपिड क्लाइमेट चेंज इन इंडिया? हाउ डू यू नो rapid climate change is there. Basically rapid climate change is there because of these factors. How do you know that? So uska pata lagta hai global temperature rise. I told you yesterday also that the temperature rise of the planet earth is there, that is high rise is there. जो टेम्परेचर बढ़ गया है, एवरेज टेम्परेचर शुड बी 14 डिग्री सेंटीग्रेड बट इट हैज इंक्रीज्ड, and ocean temperature of the ocean water is also rising, is also changing. There is another factor we get to know: sinking of ice sheet, glacial retreat, that means ice melting हो रहा है, decrease snow cover, sea level बढ़ना, decline arctic sea ice, extreme events जो टेम्परेचर चेंज हो रहा है, ओशन एसिडिफिकेशन, सारा का सारा ओशन में जो एसिडिटी बढ़ रहा है, चेंज हो रहा है, दैट आल्सो इज वन ऑफ द रीजंस जो जिसकी वजह से ये होता है. सो दीज आर सम ऑफ द रीजंस जहां से पता लगता है क्लाइमेट चेंज हो रहा है. सो हाउ डू यू नो क्लाइमेट चेंज इज हैपनिंग? एंड आई टेल यू वन थिंग फ्रेंड्स, लाइक HPCL वगैरह में जो क्वेश्चन आएगा वो आपका अंडरस्टैंडिंग बेस आएगा. थ्योरेटिकल क्वेश्चन आता है इन टॉपिक्स में से, अंडरस्टैंडिंग बेस आएगा, वो आपको 4 चॉइस देगा एंड देन यू हैव टू hit one choice which is correct choice. That is what you have to do. Then I discussed India's response to climate change, what India has done. So National Action Plan on Climate Change is an important basically plan. Then National Clean Energy Fund, that is important. Paris Agreement and India's contribution to that. International Solar Alliance and Bharat Stage. These are important basically steps taken by India to fight climate change. मैंने ये कवर किया है पिछले लेक्चर में. Those of you who have missed this lecture, please go through this lecture, and we have covered all these things in the previous lecture. Then some important climate change international laws. This is the most important part of previous lecture. International laws कौन कौन से हैं जो climate change या global warming के साथ related हैं. So some international laws which are related to global warming, that is what we discussed. So Earth Summit, जिसका another name is Rio de Janeiro Summit, another name is UNCED, United Nations Conference on Environment and Development. This is the main law from where it started. I mean, the first time time when leaders of the numerous countries in the United Nations, so 190 countries plus came and they talked about global warming. So first time global warming was discussed in Earth Summit 1992. तब हमें पता लगा कि okay, we are spoiling the climate. That is the meaning of it. So the outcome of that was UNFCCC, United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, was the creation of Earth Summit. And this line is very important, that it was the first time that we realized that there's a dangerous human interference with the climate system and we need to stabilize greenhouse gas concentration. That was the first time we discussed. And then there's a decision making body, Conference of Parties. So Conference of Parties was the decision making body which we created at that time. Then what is Agenda 21? Agenda 21 was like 21st century is coming. ये Earth Summit हुआ था 1992 में, and Agenda 21 was like 21st century is coming, year 2000 is coming, and we need to meet some targets. तो ये Agenda 21st इसको बोलते हैं, और फिर उसमें कुछ ऑब्जेक्टिव रखे गए. कन्वेंशन ऑन बायोलॉजिकल डाइवर्सिटी भी उसका एक आउटकम था. दिस वाज द आउटकम ऑफ रियो समिट. सो रियो समिट में क्या क्या चीज आया? रियो समिट और अर्थ समिट और UNCED में United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, Agenda 21, then Convention on Biological Diversity, United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. This all were outcome of Rio Summit. This we have discussed in the previous class. And then Kyoto Protocol is something which we discussed in the previous class. Kyoto Protocol was another very, very important step. Now in the Kyoto Protocol, there was some expectation on developed countries. So legally sanctioned target were given to the developed countries. जैसे अमेरिका वगैरह है, उनको एक legal sanctioned target दिए गए that you will reduce carbon dioxide emission or you will reduce greenhouse gas emission in this particular way by this particular year. तो उसमें कुछ टारगेट दिए गए. by 20 पहला टारगेट था 2012 तक मीट करना था, then 2020 तक मीट करना था. But Kyoto Protocol failed and things did not work properly because there was no expectation on developing countries, and hence developed countries were not very happy. So Kyoto Protocol is a very, very important protocol related to reduction of greenhouse gas emissions. So that was there, but actually it did not take that effect. So 7 ग्रीन हाउस गैसेस और एक उसमें से बाहर निकल गई थी बाद में। तो ये ग्रीन हाउस गैसेस है कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड, मीथेन, नाइट्रस ऑक्साइड N2O, NO2 ना कर देना, N2O है वो, हाइड्रोफ्लोरोकार्बन एंड परफ्लोरोकार्बन, सल्फर हेक्साफ्लोराइड। सो ये कुछ गैसेस हैं जो ग्रीन हाउस गैसेस है। एंड देन पेरिस एग्रीमेंट इज द लेटेस्ट वन। पेरिस एग्रीमेंट में ये बोला गया दैट टेम्परेचर शुड नॉट बी अलाउड टू गो बियॉन्ड 2 डिग्री सेंटीग्रेड। तो हमें 2 डिग्री सेंटीग्रेड से कम ही टेम्परेचर को रखना चाहिए। सो वी शुड कीप अ टारगेट वेयर टेम्परेचर ऑफ द ग्लोब शुड नॉट बी लेट टू इंक्रीज बियॉन्ड अ लिमिट। सो टेम्परेचर शुड बी kept low only. It should not be allowed to move more, go beyond 2 डिग्री सेंटीग्रेड। अभी जो भी टेम्परेचर है इट शुड नॉट बी मोर देन 2 डिग्री। अभी मींस प्री इंडस्ट्रियल लेवल। सो वट एवर टेम्परेचर ऑफ द अर्थ इज at the pre-industrial level 1850, the temperature of the globe should not go beyond that. That means 2 degrees centigrade was kept and the limit was kept 1.5 degrees centigrade. It should be well below 2 degrees centigrade and preferably within 1.5 degrees centigrade. So 2 तो बिल्कुल नहीं जाने देना चाहिए. We should try to reduce it below 1.5 degrees centigrade. That was Paris Agreement. Then Agenda 2030, friends, was 17 sustainable development goals. And sustainable development goals mein there are 17 goals. Agenda 2030 means by 2030 we will meet these objectives. These are the 17 sustainable development goals which we should meet, which we should achieve by 2030. That is Agenda 2030. That was the Paris Agreement. So this goals में ये जो नाम है, कुछ नाम important है इसमें, जैसे number 1 is poverty, number 2 is hunger, then health is 3, quality education is 4, gender equality 5, clean water 6, clean energy 7, then decent work and economic growth 8. So these are actually the 17 sustainable development goals. You should have some idea about this, and Paris Agreement में ये भी agree किया था. This is how it is to be done. Then important climate changes in India. So हमने laws जो देखे थे, जो international laws I told you, Rio Summit, Kyoto Protocol, Paris Agreement, ये कुछ international laws related to climate change, and then similar laws related to climate change in India. So Elon Musk is saying exam कब होगा? After 3 months. So you have 3 months for exam. So July, August, September, maybe September end or October में you will have exam of HPCL. So friends, if you really are serious about HPCL, you want to crack this exam, you want to join this exam, because there are 100 seats for mechanical, wonderful seats. So you start preparing for this exam now. And the only platform which is preparing you for this exam is YourPedia, and for the 4th time we are preparing you for this exam. So important climate change laws in India are Environmental Protection Act 1986. So in Environmental Impact Assessment, EIA, Environmental Impact Assessment जो है वो स्टैट्यूटरी जो उसको एक स्टेटस मिला है वो एनवायरमेंटल प्रोटेक्शन एक्ट 1986 के थ्रू मिला है. दिस इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. एंड देन देयर इज अ एयर एक्ट 1981, देयर इज अ नेशनल ग्रीन ट्रिब्यूनल एक्ट 2010, there is a green energy conservation act, this forest conservation act, water protection control pollution act 1977, so wildlife protection act, biological diversity act. See, these are some of the important laws which are in India. So India के अंदर जो important laws हैं वो ये हैं, और international laws मैं already आपको बता चुका हूँ. So friends, there are some questions. आज का lecture, in today's lecture I'll be discussing two important topics related to climate change. One is photosynthesis process, जहां से एग्जाम में क्वेश्चन आता है, that is the photosynthesis process, and another is greenhouse gases. So greenhouse gases कौन कौन सी हैं और क्या क्वेश्चन उसमें से बन सकता है, plus another I will discuss is with you is the photosynthesis process. These two topics we will discuss, but first let's do some questions which are important for you. Okay, so keep reading these questions and the answers also. The process which is functional in removing carbon dioxide from atmosphere. So which process gives you oxygen and takes out carbon dioxide? We know that plants or trees are acting as a sink. So plant and trees take the carbon dioxide from atmosphere and release the oxygen. So photosynthesis process. Now what is the photosynthesis process? That we will do in today's lecture. Today I'm going to cover greenhouse gases and photosynthesis process today. So as per these two processes, the carbon dioxide is removed from atmosphere and oxygen is supplied. That is a process. ओजोन स्फीयर इज डिप्लीटेड बाय विच ऑफ द फॉलो. सो ओजोन को कौन डिप्लीट करता है? क्लोरीन डिप्लीट करती है. और क्लोरीन इन सब में कहां पे है? सो ओजोन जो है उसको डिप्लीट करता है स्ट्रेटोस्फीयर में क्लोरीन. सो क्लोरीन विल डिप्लीट and chlorine is there in chlorofluorocarbon and that is used as refrigerant. So stratosphere, ozone and chlorine, these things you should remember. See, Nikhil, I am taking the classes as of now. I don't know whether how many classes I'll be in position to take, but as of now I have started telling students and motivating students for this exam जो HPCL का एग्जाम है, क्योंकि ये एग्जाम 3 months है अभी. देयर आर 3 months फॉर दिस एग्जाम. इन माय ओपिनियन वंडरफुल अपॉर्चुनिटी फॉर मैकेनिकल इंजीनियर्स. और जो गेट का स्कोर जिनका अच्छा नहीं आया, स्टिल दे वांट टू बी इन पब्लिक सेक्टर कंपनीज. So HPCL is a very good job for them. So that is the reason I am taking these classes. बाकी सिलेबस तो आपका गेट वाला सिलेबस होता है. दिस टॉपिक जिसमें से 15 क्वेश्चंस आएंगे out of 85, 15 marks out of 85 is from this portion. So that is the reason I am taking this portion. And आप साथ साथ तैयारी करते जाओ, पढ़ते जाओ इसको, and I am very sure you will score good in this, right? Okay, now let's go for next question, friends. Which is not possible adverse effect of the global warming? Which of the following is not the possible adverse effect of global warming? Sea level rise. We have seen that sea level का rise तो होता है. Level of the sea will rise. That is one of the effect. Then increase in UV radiations and increase of UVB radiations. That is not there. Radiation increase is not there. Actually, what is happening is when the sunlight comes, let us say this is sun. The sunlight comes, there is an ultraviolet radiation in that, and then there is a earth atmosphere. So on the earth atmosphere, the ultraviolet radiations, which is the sunlight, that gets converted into infrared radiation. Now the wavelength of this and this is different. Now greenhouse gases, carbon dioxide, methane, water vapor, and then nitrous oxide and chlorofluorocarbon, all these gases which are called greenhouse gases, these gases will trap infrared radiation and that will further heat up the planet. That is called greenhouse effect. That is called greenhouse effect. So which radiation is there in solar light or solar radiations? What are the radiations in the sunlight? Ultraviolet radiations. When they hit the surface of earth, then these will get converted into infrared, and greenhouse gases will trap infrared radiations because of the wavelength difference. That is a basically impact. Now the all are effects of global warming except B. B is not the effect of global warming. Okay, so how to manage with GATE? Answer is GATE exam is in Feb. HPCL exam is in September or October. It's a wonderful actually. Abhi nobody is preparing for GATE as of now. I mean hectic. Number 2, entire syllabus is of the GATE only with small changes. So HPCL syllabus largely is GATE syllabus. So if you're preparing for GATE, HPCL ka syllabus bhi ho raha hai. Plus there are some topics which we are doing which are different from GATE. Question paper syllabus is same almost, but the questions which are asked are different. HPCL question, GATE questions are different. After October, give 100% to GATE. But even in GATE, you will get PSUs. HPCL is a good opportunity. I've seen so many students. मैं डेली कोई ना कोई सिलेक्टेड बच्चे का वीडियो डालता हूं अपने चैनल पे जो HPCL वगैरह में सिलेक्ट हुआ है. आप देखना जो स्टूडेंट का गेट नहीं निकलता वो HPCL में सिलेक्ट हो जाता है. सो प्रिपेयर वेल फॉर दैट. Okay, what is the descending order of relative contribution of various greenhouse gases to total global warming? This is a very, very important question. What is the relative contribution of various greenhouse gases? सो सबसे ज्यादा कंट्रीब्यूशन है कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड का, फॉलोड बाय मीथेन, देन क्लोरोफ्लोरोकार्बन, देन नाइट्रस ऑक्साइड. सो दिस इज द कंट्रीब्यूशन. दिस इज द कंट्रीब्यूशन. सो या आरसीएफएल में थोड़ा सा डिफरेंस है, थोड़ा सा चेंज है. आरसीएफएल सिलेबस इज लिटिल डिफरेंट फ्रॉम एचपीसीएल, थोड़ा सा चेंज है. बट if you're taking the module of HPCL from YourPedia, then RCFL will also be covered in that. I mean that different topics will also be covered. So don't you worry about that. So carbon dioxide and then methane, then chlorofluorocarbon, then nitrous oxide. ये contribution है green house gases का. सबसे ज्यादा किसका contribution है? Carbon dioxide का, followed by methane. Methane is called natural gas, marsh gas. Then chlorofluorocarbon. Chlorofluorocarbon ओजोन को भी डिप्लीट करते हैं. एंड देन नाइट्रस ऑक्साइड. नाइट्रस ऑक्साइड में बच्चा कंफ्यूज होता है, इट इज NOx और NXO. वो आज हम डिस्कस करेंगे जब हम ये टॉपिक करेंगे. क्लोरोफ्लोरोकार्बन्स. क्लोरोफ्लोरोकार्बन्स have a continuing effect on ozone layer as chlorine atom formed by them only act as catalysis in reaction causing degradation of ozone. Yes. So chlorofluorocarbon में क्लोरीन होता है and this chlorine actually will deplete the ozone. That is the purpose of chlorofluorocarbon. Chlorofluorocarbons are crucial in global warming along with their role in ozone depletion because they absorb the radiations also in very less wavelength radiations, infrared radiations. So chlorofluorocarbon will also absorb the radiation, infrared radiation, and that is the reason chlorofluorocarbon is not only ozone depleting substance but also it is the basically your greenhouse gas. Which of the following is not a major greenhouse gas? Which of the following is not a major greenhouse gas? Answer is ozone. Ozone is a basically ozone is not a greenhouse gas actually. Greenhouse gases के नाम मैंने आपको बताए हैं. Ozone is not greenhouse gas. Greenhouse gas means which will absorb infrared radiations and will warm the planet Earth. Okay, ultraviolet radiations from sunlight. Sunlight has ultraviolet radiations. So UV radiations from sunlight will lead to a reaction which produce further what? Ultraviolet radiations from sunlight. Ultraviolet radiations from sunlight will cause a reaction which will produce further what? Okay, that is the ozone. I'll explain this once we do now this next topic. I'm going to explain this to you. So atmospheric carbon dioxide is a greenhouse gas because it is opaque to infrared rays. That means it will absorb infrared radiations. Ultraviolet radiation it will not absorb, but the carbon dioxide will absorb infrared radiations. वही अब आज हम इसको ही डिस्कस करेंगे. This is basically re-radiating heat by atmosphere, carbon dioxide and all. That means when the energy from sunlight comes, all these gases will absorb that energy and re-radiate. So that will heat up further the planet Earth. That is called global warming. ये तो है global warming. Temperature बढ़ जाना, we are feeling that temperature has started rising now because of this. Central Pollution Control Board. It's a very, very important question, friends. Central Pollution Control Board was constituted under which of the following acts? Very, very important question. Central Pollution Control Board is a statutory organization and it was created under Water Act. So it was created under Water Act 1974. But it was given the powers and functions under Air Act. ये दो अलग चीज है. It was constituted under Water Act, but it was given the powers and authorities functions under Air Act 1981. तो constitute हुआ था 1974 में under Water Act. This is a very, very important question. So Indu is saying, sir, chlorine in chlorofluorocarbon react with ozone, so is actually used up in reaction. Okay, I don't, this question is not very clear. Indu, your question is not very clear. What question you are asking is not very clear. Okay, so friends, today's lecture is about photosynthesis. What do we mean by photosynthesis? So let me summarize. First, photosynthesis means carbon dioxide plus water, and the plants will do the photosynthesis. So what plants will do? Plants will take carbon dioxide, they will take water, and they will take sunlight and give you sugar, glucose, and oxygen. Listen carefully. What is photosynthesis? फोटोसिंथेसिस इज डन बाय प्लांट. प्लांट के अंदर एक ग्रीन पिगमेंट होता है जिसको बोलते हैं क्लोरोफिल. वो प्लांट के अंदर जो क्लोरोफिल होता है वो सनलाइट को लेता है. इट टेक्स सनलाइट, इट टेक्स वाटर from the roots, and it takes carbon dioxide and gives you sugar in different formats. Glucose is one of the format, and oxygen. So that is the reason plant is actually giving you oxygen. That is the reason we need plants. This is called photosynthesis. So what photosynthesis is? It is a process in which phototropes convert the light energy into chemical energy, and chemical energy means sugar. Chemical energy means sugar. So sunlight, make, you all are mechanical engineers, energy remains conserved. It can be converted from one form to another, but eventually it remains conserved. First law of thermodynamics, right? So energy, sunlight is one energy, and it is converted into chemical energy. Chemical energy here is sugar. And who does that? So plants will do that. प्लांट्स के अंदर एक क्लोरोफिल होता है, एक बेसिकली फोटोसिंथेसिस पिगमेंट होता है जिसको हम क्लोरोफिल बोलते हैं. दो नाम और याद रख लेना. और ये ग्रीन प्लांट होता है, क्लोरोफिल होता है, एंड देन इट बेसिकली इज यूज्ड टू basically synthesize the this particular sugar. So carbon dioxide, water, sunlight will give you sugar and oxygen. This process is called photosynthesis process. This entire process is called photosynthesis process. So remember this, it is a very, very important, friends, photosynthesis process. And couple of more things. Even the algae, जो आपको green algae नजर आती है, वो भी फोटोसिंथेसिस प्रोसेस में इन्वॉल्व होती है. एंड दिस इज द बेसिकली ऑक्सीजन एंड शुगर इज द बाई प्रोडक्ट ऑफ दैट. सो लीव्स विल कंटेन दिस क्लोरोप्लास्ट और क्लोरोफिल ऑफ द प्लांट्स. सो दिस ग्रीन कलर्ड पिगमेंट इज कॉल्ड क्लोरोफिल, राइट. अनदर बाई प्रोडक्ट इज ग्लूकोज और फ्रक्टोज. सो आपने मैं आपको बताया जो शुगर होता है वो फ्रक्टोज एंड ग्लूकोज की फॉर्म में आपको शुगर मिलती है. और फिर ये शुगर आपके रूट, स्टेम, लीव, फ्रूट, फ्लावर, जितने भी आपको फ्रूट मिलता है, यू नो दिस मैंगो और एनी फ्रूट, यू से एप्पल, मैंगो, स्वीट होता है ना, वो शुगर होती है उसके अंदर. दैट शुगर इज बिकॉज ऑफ दिस फोटोसिंथेसिस प्रोसेस. सो प्लांट्स विल गिव यू sugar, and plants will give you the oxygen. That is called the photosynthesis process. Question number 5, chlorine is used in reaction with ozone layer. So chlorine is actually used up in reaction known. So option C. Let me go to question number 5 and discuss what Indu is saying. Question number 5, Indu is asking about that. Chlorofluorocarbon have continuing effect on ozone layer as chlorine atom formed by them are used up in reaction causing degradation of continuing effect of ozone layer as continuing effect, or with them only act as catalyst reaction. See, the difference here is it is a catalyst or it is a used up in reaction. So chlorine atom is not reacting. Chlorine atom only acts as catalyst. That is the reason answer is D. It is not reacting. Chlorine does not react with ozone. It actually is only used as catalyst. So if you see the reaction, how ozone gets degraded or divided, fragmented further, so chlorine is not making reaction with ozone or oxygen. That is the reason it is using as catalyst. it only, catalyst means something which is not itself involved in reaction, but it is basically making the reaction to take place. That is the meaning of this. Okay, now let's go for factors which are affecting the photosynthesis. So what factors affect the photosynthesis? Yeah, so Hemulsi is saying catalyst will just start the reaction. That is true. Now, what factors will affect the photosynthesis? Light intensity certainly affects the photosynthesis. So, if more is the intensity, more is the photosynthesis. Concentration of carbon dioxide. Yes, for photosynthesis is nothing but light plus water plus carbon dioxide. Light plus water plus carbon dioxide gives you sugar plus oxygen. If light is more, photosynthesis is more. If carbon dioxide is more, photosynthesis is more. And also, temperature, for proper photosynthesis to take place, temperature should be optimum. It should not be very high, not very less. So photosynthesis का best जो होता है, there is a reason, you know, Amazon forest in South American continent are called lungs of planet Earth. Why lungs? Because maximum oxygen is released by those jungles. Why? Because you see the temperature range of those areas, 25 to 35 degrees centigrade. So very chilled places or very hot places on planet Earth may not lead to lot of oxygen generation through photosynthesis. That is something which you need to know. Now water, yes, water is important part. So light, carbon dioxide, water is required for photosynthesis. Pollution होगा तो वो लीफ के सरफेस के ऊपर बैठ जाएगा एंड फोटोसिंथेसिस नहीं हो पाएगी. सो यस, फोटोसिंथेसिस में अगर मैं एक क्वेश्चन आपको फ्रेम करूं कि मोर इज द टेम्परेचर, मोर इज द फोटोसिंथेसिस प्रोसेस, दैट इज रॉन्ग. टेम्परेचर हैज टू बी ऑप्टिमम फॉर फोटोसिंथेसिस टू टेक प्लेस. तो बहुत ज्यादा टेम्परेचर नहीं होना चाहिए, बहुत कम टेम्परेचर नहीं होना चाहिए. अगर ऑप्टिमम टेम्परेचर है तो फोटोसिंथेसिस प्रोसेस ठीक होगा. नाउ फोटोसिंथेसिस प्रोसेस जो होती है, अगर तुम देखोगे तो वो पॉल्यूशन को कंट्रोल करती है क्योंकि ऑक्सीजन निकलता है. सो इफ देयर इज अ पॉल्यूशन, फोटोसिंथेसिस विल बी लेस. If photosynthesis process is there, then pollution will be less. So ये related terms हैं because photosynthesis will give you oxygen and that reduces the pollution. ये है photosynthesis का equation. Carbon dioxide plus water gives you sugar plus oxygen and that happens in the presence of sunlight. So यहाँ पे आपका sunlight दिया जाता है. तो in presence of sunlight, so the plant जिसका आपका क्लोरोफिल होता है, सो प्लांट क्लोरोफिल की प्रेजेंस में, सनलाइट की प्रेजेंस में, कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड प्लस वाटर गिव्स यू शुगर एंड ऑक्सीजन. सो दिस इक्वेशन इज समथिंग व्हिच यू शुड बी अवेयर. आपको पता होना चाहिए ये इक्वेशन क्या है. सो फ्रेंड्स, वी आर डूइंग, you know, we are doing the environment and energy topic of HPCL exam for mechanical engineers, and mechanical engineers writing HPCL are going to crack this exam. There are 100 seats in HPCL, lot of seats for mechanical engineers, lot of seats are going to come. So Airport Authority of India is going to come, Comptroller General Patent Design Trademarking is going to come, ISRO is going to come. So these all exams are other than GATE exam. और गेट के थ्रू जो तुम्हारे PSUs है, that is separate. So lot of jobs for mechanical engineers. Just prepare friends so that you are in position to get a good job. Okay, now what do you mean by greenhouse? मैंने आपको बताया कि आज दो टॉपिक हम लोग कर रहे हैं, एक फोटोसिंथेसिस, एक ग्रीन हाउस, और जो पिछला लेक्चर था वो तो हम कर ही रहे हैं. So now what is greenhouse? What we should know? Greenhouse होता क्या है? Greenhouse as a term means what? You know, greenhouse is a structure or is a house which you have created, controlled condition temperature पे एक create करते हो आप, जिसकी walls and roofs are made of transparent material like glass. तो glass का एक house बना दो, that is a greenhouse. So light will come inside. Inside there will be plants and all. Light will come inside, and then that light will be having ultraviolet radiation. But when it will hit the surface, it will get converted into infrared radiation, and that infrared radiation will be absorbed by these various gases inside, like carbon dioxide and all, and that trapped energy will increase the temperature of this particular greenhouse. So visible light is basically and ultraviolet wavelength and infrared radiation. So visible light and infrared and ultraviolet radiations, these are some of the different wavelengths. So what happens is, so visible light will pass through glass and will get absorbed by the floor, and then this long wavelength infrared radiation will be absorbed by this. This is what I'm trying to explain. So energy, the visible light or this ultraviolet light from the solar light will come into the surface, come into the greenhouse, come into the surface of earth, then earth के surface के ऊपर it will gets reflected, hits it here, and it will get changed into infrared radiation. Now the wavelength of infrared radiation is more, ultraviolet radiation wavelength is less, infrared wavelength is more, and this infrared radiation will get absorbed by greenhouse gases. I told you 6 greenhouse gases. These 6 greenhouse gases will actually absorb infrared radiation and absorb, and the heat will get trapped. When the heat will get trapped, तो टेम्परेचर बढ़ना स्टार्ट हो जाता है, जिसको ग्रीन हाउस गैस इफेक्ट बोलते हैं. So warming of the earth is greenhouse effect. So when infrared radiation is absorbed by greenhouse gases, so greenhouse gases will not absorb the ultraviolet radiations, they will absorb the infrared radiation. That is something which you should be aware. Now, which are the greenhouse gases? That names you should know. What are greenhouse gases? So carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide. Friends, इसका नाम याद रख लेना, because there is a confusion in students and exam में वो आपको NOx देता है. This has to be NXO. So N2O is the greenhouse gas. NO2 is the cooling gas, not heating gas. So NO2 is different from N2O. N2O is a greenhouse gas. NOx is not a greenhouse gas. So carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, N2O, water vapor, chlorofluorocarbon, these are the greenhouse gases. Descending order में हैं. No, see, there is no dedicated book. As I told you, these are the new topics which are the topics of engineering services preliminary. So YourPedia already providing you all these topics. You need not to go for any book. In fact, there is no book as such. So you can take these topics and you can start revising these topics. Right? So these are the greenhouse gases, friends. And only thing you remember is N2O is the most important. Don't get confused with NO2. It is N2O, it is not NO2. Many exams may question will be framed like this. Which of the following is the most potent greenhouse gas? Carbon dioxide, followed by methane, followed by nitrous oxide. Right? So these are the most potent greenhouse gases. Now, what are the sources of these greenhouse gases? So just summary of that, how you can read. So carbon dioxide is actually because of fossil fuels. तो जो fossil fuel है ना, वो आपका कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड रिलीज करता है. Fossil fuel, deforestation. Deforestation means when you cut the jungles, they are the sink. So they will not basically be consuming carbon dioxide. Then carbon dioxide will keep on increasing. Chlorofluorocarbon. So chlorofluorocarbon are refrigerant से निकलता है. जो AC आप यूज करते हो, एयर कंडीशनर, chlorofluorocarbon. Now Methane is a natural gas. It is a natural gas. Methane is natural gas. So you see this landfill, marsh gas, wetland, ये जो गैस निकलती है ये मीथेन है. Then nitrous oxide. This is burning of fossil fuels, fertilizer, but automobile engine. Please add this also. Automobile engine gives you nitrous oxide. So from the automobile engine high temperature, you get nitrogen oxide. And then carbon monoxide. So these are greenhouse gases, friends. Let's now discuss a little bit more about this carbon dioxide. It is a very, very significant gas because it will trap the infrared radiations. So greenhouse effect is largely attributed to the carbon dioxide. So if you name one greenhouse gas which is most potent, जिसका सबसे ज्यादा कंट्रीब्यूशन है, तो वो आपकी कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड है. And its concentration is greater close to surface of earth and it is denser than air. So if it is denser than air, तो ये नीचे आपकी सरफेस के ऊपर बैठेगी, सरफेस के ऊपर बैठती है ये गैस और ये डेंस होती है कंपेयर टू ऑक्सीजन और एयर. And because it is concentrated towards surface of earth, hence effect of warming is more towards surface of earth. Okay, then comes ozone. Ozone is also greenhouse gas. But its presence is very less on the surface of earth. It is a stratosphere में होती है ये और ये अल्ट्रावायलेट रेडिएशन को एब्जॉर्ब करती है, which is something which is good. So ozone actually is not contributing to global warming because it is in the stratosphere. It is not on the surface of earth, and moreover it will absorb the harmful ultraviolet radiations. If ozone is not there, then harmful ultraviolet radiation will come and this will create some kind of health impacts like skin cancer, because ultraviolet radiation is harmful for our tissues. So skin cancer can be created. Then comes methane, friends. Most important after carbon dioxide. It is decomposition, natural gas है, गोबर gas है. So it is a natural gas, what we know. The gas created by wetland or something. Right, so this is a methane. Then nitrous oxide. Nitrous oxide is also greenhouse gas. And do not misunderstand between N2O and NO2. NO2 is cooling, it is not warming the planet. So NO2 is the greenhouse gas. Okay, so this is all about the greenhouse gases which we were doing and the photosynthesis process. So in today's lecture, we have covered the photosynthesis process, factors which are leading to photosynthesis. We have done about the greenhouse gases and we have discussed about some questions which we discussed today. And then I told you what are the various topics and how we started. So I was doing global warming, in which I gave you some laws. I gave you international laws. I gave you some laws which are used in India, which laws which we are using, those we discussed, and some of the important laws we discussed. Let me tell you, friends, in HPCL exam, the questions are not very difficult. Questions are straightforward, but obviously you are to cover large chunk of the syllabus which they have given, and that you should cover, so that if some question comes from there, you are in position to solve that particular question. You are in position to basically find the solution for that. Now, some new topics which have been added. Many of you are asking what is the syllabus of HPCL. The syllabus is same as last year 2023, and last year May they had added some kind of topics, and these were the topics they added last year. Now these topics I believe are going to be asked, and they are very simple topics. They are not difficult topics. I'm sure you can solve these topics. So YourPedia is going to cover all these topics like climate change, like basics of energy environment, basic of project management, basics of material science and engineering, information and communication technology. These all topics we are going to cover. So far we have covered these topics, two topics, that is environmental impact assessment and climate change we have discussed. Now we are covering here very important topics from where you can expect the question in your exam. That is what we are doing. And this all topics have already been covered for engineering services preliminary. They are available on the panel of YourPedia. So you can go on the panel of YourPedia and you can see these topics also there. But at the same time, please don't miss these topics which are being covered to you, some important notes which are being provided to you in today's lecture also. This now I think 15-17 pages for these two lectures, and similarly so 15-20 pages for environmental impact assessment was provided to you. Many questions will be given to you in the form of questions itself. I mean, not as a theory, but in the form of question which were asked in the previous years, and which can be asked to you in the exam. So like these questions which are provided to you, they are the probable questions which you can get in the exam. So just revise these questions and their solution. My next class, maybe tomorrow's class, I'm going to cover some questions only. I'll be giving you question, and in the form of those question and their solution will be given. So I'll be coming with some topics from energy and environment only. This topic I'm going to cover tomorrow, and I'll be covering some questions from these topics. So this entire topic will be covered through questions in tomorrow's class, and then some more topics, if they are to be covered, then I will cover in tomorrow's class. Later classes we will do that. So in tomorrow's class, let me tell you what we are going to do. So this conservation, environment pollution, degradation, climate change, environmental impact assessment. So this entire topic in the form of question I'm going to cover in tomorrow's class. This entire thing will be covered in the form of questions. So maybe I'll come prepared with some 50 questions of these topics, and these 50 questions will be covered in the class tomorrow. And maybe those questions from in the form of those questions, some of the questions you may get in the exam, and that is how we are to prepare for it. So friends, keep preparing. I think this is the wonderful opportunity to you, and you can qualify this exam. So see, full mechanical course already is going on. Actually, full mechanical course already mentors are covering. Manish sir and Vinesh sir, they are also covering those topics simultaneously. Classes are going on. Elon Musk, I think every day there's a classes of mechanical topics. These are the topics which are new added topics, and they are for our registered students also, and for other students also who were facing some trouble. Other topics are typically gate type of topic. You people have already covered those topics in the gate exam, but these are the topics which are new topics, engineering services topics, and hence you people were not very clear about these topics. So yeah, obviously PGCL, IOCL is going on, MKR, these all batches. Let me tell you, this group discussion, group task, HR, and technical snap and interview, it keeps on going throughout the year on YourPedia. Why? Because one or the other interview is going on. Like HPCL interviews are going on, HPCL extended list interviews are going on. Now IOCL interviews are going on, ISRO interviews are going on. Then there is a another this fact FACT, fertilizer and chemical fertilizer, that interviews are going on. Chennai Petroleum Corporation, that interviews are going on. So every month there are 5 to 6 interviews which keep on going on. Yes, Union Bank technical officer interviews are going on. फिर some more banking system में technical officers are there, those interviews are going on. So interviews entire year keep on going on YourPedia. Whenever you want to prepare, you can join that. शिवम, आई थिंक मैंने पीडीएफ भेज दिया है, मनप्रीत मैम उसको ऐड कर देंगे आज या कल में, मेरे को लगता है मनप्रीत मैम उसको ऐड कर देंगे। तो वो पीडीएफ मैंने उनको भेज दिया अपनी तरफ से। इनका भी 4 लेक्चर हो गया अभी, इन चारों का पीडीएफ मैं आपको भेज दूंगा। आप इनको रिवाइज करना स्टार्ट करो, जैसे जैसे आपको मिल रहा है फ्रेंड्स, आप इनको रिवाइज करना स्टार्ट करो, पीडीएफ को गो थ्रू करना स्टार्ट करो, सो दैट आपका प्रिपरेशन साथ साथ होता रहे। तो आई एम सेंडिंग यू ऑल दीज पीडीएफ्स, यू आर टू प्रिपेयर दीज पीडीएफ्स साइमल्टेनियसली। आप तैयार करते जाओ, मैं इनको पीडीएफ्स को तुम्हें भेज रहा हूं एंड इसमें क्वेश्चंस भी भेजूंगा। सो टुमारो ऑनवर्ड आई एम गोइंग टू गिव यू मोर एंड मोर कंटेंट इन द फॉर्म ऑफ क्वेश्चन, सो दैट आप इसको रिवाइज कर सकें, आपका रिवीजन होता रहे। उस फॉर्म में मैं आपको कंटेंट भेजता जाऊंगा, तो उसको रिवाइज करो। सो दैट इज व्हाट वी आर गोइंग टू डू इट। सो आई थिंक या पीडीएफ टुमारो, इफ नॉट टुडे, दे विल बी अपलोडेड टू यू। No, mechanical classes are friends going on. I mean, they are not regular जो YouTube पे live classes हैं, they are of this topic, but mechanical classes mentors are taking on their allocated times. जो regular batch का classes है, I think students have joined for the regular batch of HPCL. See, if you guys are seriously preparing for this exam, friend, then you join the batches. उसमें आपका system बन जाता है, discipline बन जाता है, and you can very well prepare in a group. सो अगर आप HPCL के लिए इंटरेस्टेड हैं तो आप डेडिकेटेड बैच ज्वाइन करें। या इट्स नॉट ऑन यूट्यूब, आई थिंक यूट्यूब पे कुछ लेक्चर्स हैं इलॉन, कुछ लेक्चर है, सारे नहीं है, लेकिन कुछ लेक्चर्स इस पे अपलोडेड है। रेगुलर क्लासेस नहीं हो रही हैं, ऑब्वियसली रेगुलर क्लासेस वो बच्चों की चलेंगी, बिकॉज लाइव क्लास बहुत ज्यादा नहीं हो सकती ना, तो लाइव क्लासेस में ओनली ये क्लासेस चल रही हैं अभी। नहीं, एंटायर एनर्जी एंड एनवायरनमेंट पोर्शन कवर नहीं होगा। मैंने क्लाइमेट चेंज एनवायरनमेंट इंपैक्ट असेसमेंट कंप्लीट किया है। सो मेरे को अभी इसमें मेरे को लगता है 6 लेक्चर और मैं लूंगा, 6 मोर लेक्चर्स टू कंप्लीट दिस एंटायर। सो पोल्यूशन, डिग्रेडेशन, एनवायरनमेंट कंजर्वेशन पे मैं आई विल टेक 5-6 मोर लेक्चर। आई हैव टेकन 4 लेक्चर्स, टुडेज वाज द 4th लेक्चर। आई एम गोना टेक 4-5 मोर लेक्चर्स टू कंप्लीट दिस। तो ये आपका सारे का सारा पोर्शन 6 आपका कंप्लीट हो जाएगा। देन आई विल बी शिफ्टिंग ओवर टू सम अनदर टॉपिक एंड दैट इज हाउ वी आर गोइंग टू कवर इट। सो वी हैव 3 months and we have to cover technical, non-technical, entire portion in these 3 months. That is what we will do. Yeah, 2 topics have been covered, but tomorrow I am going to take questions from all these and try to cover this entire topic, entire syllabus in the form of topics. So I'll be covering this entire topic in question form tomorrow. That is what we will do. अभी तक 2 टॉपिक हुए हैं और questions will be covered tomorrow from this entire topic, and I will try to cover this entire in the form of topics, questions in the form of questions only, entire topic. That will be done tomorrow, right? Chalo, then I'll catch you tomorrow, friends. I'll meet you tomorrow for this class and catch you tomorrow. Thank you.